scope refers to the lifespan of a variable or an object. Let's consider this example where I'm having the user enter a number into a text box named txt_num, and then they're going to click this button of btn get, and that's going to get the number and place it in a variable. Then I'm going to take that variable, and on this button I'm going to double it, this one I want to triple it, and this one I want to square it, so I'll call this one btn square. So let's code our first button here of get the number. I'm going to dim my number as double, and it'll equal cdbl txt_num dot text. Now I want to double that number. So I'm going to go to double it, and I'm just going to dim dbl as double, and it's going to equal my number times 2. We'll do a message box dot show, and we'll just do dbl toString. We'll go 2 decimal places, and our title will be number doubled. And I lost my end sub. Now, notice I'm getting a squiggly under my number. That's a syntax error. And it says my number is not declared. It may be inaccessible due to its protection level. But I declared it up here. Well, the problem is when we declare a variable inside of a method, it is a local scope. It only exists as long as that method is running. When I hit the end sub, or this event handler stops running the code, my number disappears. It's erased from memory. And so therefore, in this btn double.click event handler, it doesn't recognize my number. It doesn't exist. Well, the way we get around that is to create variables that are class level, or sometimes referred to as global. And I can declare a variable outside of any local event handler or any local method. And I'm just going to take this dim my number as double. I'm going to cut that. I'm just going to paste that in up here. And then here, let's just say my number. Now, my squiggly went away. It recognizes my number because in both cases, this one here and this one here both refer to my number as a class level. Now I can also dim my number inside of a event handler, and that would override the my number as a class level. That's bad practice to do, so I don't recommend having local variables as the same name as class level variables. But now let's watch this run, and I can get my number and I double it, and I'm told that the number doubled is 14.5. That's correct. Now I'm going to do one more thing here, and that is I'm going to run this again. I'm just going to click double it, and now I get a 0 because I never got the number. So when I declared this local variable, it took on a value of 0. We could even say we can declare it as 0. However, I can't at this point say it equals cdbl txt_num.text. Watch what happens when I try to run this. I get an error. And the reason I get that error is this code is executing before our form is built, and therefore txt_num does not exist. So the error here was an object reference not set to an instance of an object. It doesn't exist at this point. In the next lesson, we'll look at the form load event, which we can initialize our class level variable to the default value that exists in the control in the text box when we first start the application. For now, I'm just going to change this back to 0 in my application. Let's go ahead and code the triple button and the square button. I'm going to double click the triplet, I'm just going to copy the code here, paste, and multiply this by 3. Let's change our variable to triple. Change it here, and we'll say the number tripled. And then our square button, and again I'll paste. Let's make this squared. We'll multiply my number by my number, and let's change this to squared. And the number squared. Now let's test. Got to get our number. Click double it. 14.5 is doubled. Triple, 21.75. And squared, 52.56. That seems reasonable because 7 squared would be 49. So all 3 of our calculation buttons are pulling my number from the global variable that is populated in the btn get.click event. If you just jumped into this video, you can see all the videos from the Programming Practicum playlist by clicking on the image in the lower right. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos I create, you can click my picture in the top right to subscribe to the channel.